reflection for today is based on the reading for Monday, the 13th of December, from the lectionary, from the Church of England's calendar of readings. It's from Matthew 16, verses 13 to 18, and initially at least, it doesn't seem to have much to do with Christmas. It says this: "Now, when Jesus came into the district of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, 'Who do people say that the Son of Man is?' And they said, 'Some say John the Baptist, but others Elijah, and still others Jeremiah or one of the prophets.' He said to them, 'But who do you say that I am?' Simon Peter answered, 'You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God.' And Jesus answered him, 'Blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah, for flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but my Father in heaven. And I tell you, you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades will not prevail against it.'" Now, it might not have much to do with Christmas, at least on the face of it, but I love Christmas. Now, I love Christmas in a way that I think maybe slightly annoys some proper Anglicans, because I love Christmas from the 1st of December, the day my Advent calendar starts. And as any proper Anglican will tell you, Christmas is not the same as Advent. Okay, so Advent is a season of waiting and penitence that begins on the Sunday that comes between November the 27th and December the 3rd each year. So not necessarily the 1st of December as my Advent calendar says. And then it runs until midnight on the 24th of December when Christmas begins. And then Christmas runs from Christmas Day for 12 days, 12 Days of Christmas, a song, I won't try and sing it, until Epiphany. That's what a proper Anglican will tell you about Christmas and Advent. But I'm an improper Anglican, raised outside of the warm embrace of the Anglican Church, raised essentially by television adverts that use Christmas as a bit of a sales pitch from kind of mid-October, early November onwards. So as far as I'm concerned, Christmas starts when my Advent calendar says it does, 1st of December, when I open that first window of chocolatey goodness. And the whole period is a period not of fasting and penitence, but of feasting on chocolate and mulled wine and mince pies and cheesy Christmas tunes until Boxing Day. Now, once Boxing Day hits, as far as I'm concerned, Christmas is about over. If I'm lucky, I've still got some Christmas chocolate left, and I probably won't take my Christmas tree down because I want to get my money's worth. But I'm done with Christmas. I don't want to have anything to do with Christmas at that point. My month-long binge on festivity leaves me feeling sick of the smell of mulled wine, sick of the taste of mince pies, and sick of the sound of Michael Bublé singing Christmas crooners. Now, I'm aware that in saying all of this, I may horrify some of you, so pray for my soul. But I know that I'm not alone in experiencing Christmas in that sort of a way. I think in the modern secular age, the materialistic age that we live in, for the majority of Western people, Christmas looks more like my Christmas than a proper Anglican Christmas. It starts beginning of December, it runs until the end of Christmas Day, and then it's finished. Time to move on. But whilst my Anglican credentials are perhaps suspect, I am a Christian. Hopefully that won't come as a surprise to anyone. And so for all my own Christmas spirit doesn't align with the Anglican calendar, nonetheless, the birth of Jesus Christ is still the centre of it all. For all that I get very excited about festive bakes being on sale at Greggs, Jesus is still where the meaning of Christmas is to be found. Jesus is, to use a slightly cringy phrase popularised by our cousins across the Atlantic, Jesus is the reason for the season. Now, the smart Alex among you may say, well, actually, the date and traditions of Christmas have pagan origins. And you'd be right. The Romans celebrated the festival of Saturnalia, a festival of light that actually, or eventually, kind of culminated or morphed into the birthday of the sun on the 25th of December. But when the Roman Empire converted to Christianity, Saturnalia was under new ownership. And Christian ministers, Christian missionaries, they saw this Roman imagery of birth and of light, and they recognised that fitted really well as a way of telling the story of Jesus, the light of the world, born in the flesh, that story mapped onto some of these existing traditions. So yes, Christianity, Christmas rather, had a pagan origin. But by the end of the 4th century, Jesus had replaced Saturn and the sun at the centre of the festivities. Jesus became the focus, and the light and the idea of him being born in the flesh, they were understandable to the Romans on that basis. And of course, Christianity spread out around most of the world. And as it did so, it took a Jesus-centred Christmas with it. So yes, the date chosen to celebrate the birth of Jesus has a pagan origin. But nonetheless, Christmas as we know it is about the birth of Christ. But for those who are even a little bit like me, in terms of getting all excited by the festive fun and the Christmassiness of it all, it's quite easy for the baby in the manger to get a bit lost amidst the decorations and the pageantry of it all. Myself and anyone like me can get so busy and focused on enjoying the foods, on going to Christmas markets, basking in the warm glow of fairy lights and Christmas crooners, that Jesus gets lost. All those other things can be good things, and they can be joyful things. But it's a bit like having a lot of Christmas presents under the tree, and Jesus being a rather humble-looking gift that gets lost amidst all the colourful wrapping paper and ribbons. Well, our reading today reminds us of a fundamental question that lies at the heart of Christmas. We have a grown-up Jesus asking his followers, "Who do you say I am?" You see, Jesus may get lost amidst the Christmas festivities. But if he does catch your eye, if you do take the time to notice this tiny baby that is the heart of Christmas, then actually that is the question that the baby in the manger asks us. That's the question that Christmas begs. Who do you say Jesus is? Strip away all the food and the festivities, all the lights, all the colours, and the newborn baby crying helplessly on a bed of straw cries out, "Who am I? Who do you say that I am?" So who do you say that he is? In a survey from a few years ago, about 40% of Brits actually thought that Jesus was a fictional character, or they weren't sure that he existed. But you will be hard-pressed to find any credible historian today who thinks that Jesus didn't exist as a real person. There is, broadly speaking, a consensus that Jesus existed. The question, and the question for us to ask ourselves, is who was he? Was he a prophet, like some of the people in our reading thought he was? Was he just a sort of more or less wise teacher, a type of rabbi? Was he a con artist? Was he experiencing a delusional illness? Or is he, the light of the world, the Word made flesh, the Son of God? Now, I can't answer that question for you, although as in all things, I would welcome a conversation with you about Jesus if you'd like to have a conversation. But I can and do encourage you this Christmas season, whether you are a proper Anglican beginning Christmas on Christmas Day, or whether you're a bit like me and Christmas has already begun, wherever you sit, even if you're not an Anglican at all, I encourage you to look past the decorations and the food and the busyness and take a look at the baby at the heart of Christmas and think for yourself, maybe for the first time, or maybe once again, about who this baby is. That is the question at the heart of Christmas. Amen.